Morning to all of you. Hope you all didn't eat too much, otherwise it's difficult to sit. Okay, we are supposed to have a guided meditation this morning, and tomorrow I think there's a talk about meditation. So today just talk about the practical aspect, so that you can meditate. Firstly, the first thing is posture. Posture is very important. You have to sit with your spine straight. And to do that, it is easier if you sit a bit higher with a cushion behind you. Without a cushion also can. Some people can. And then there is the full lotus where you cross both your legs. There's the half lotus where you cross one leg. But this is more for people who are slim, with long legs. Easier to cross. If you are not slim with long legs, then you can do the Burmese posture, where your two legs are in front of you like that. And then for some people with fat legs, they have to sit on the stool. Geisha style. They sit on the stool, your two legs behind, underneath the bangku, the stool. Or if you have a big fat zafu that I have, you can sit on it, and then your two legs at the back, facing the back at the side. If you don't sit with your spine straight, because it's easy to relax. When you relax, then you tend to go forward, tend to bend. But if you do that for long, you might get a pain in your spine. That's why it's good to sit straight. The other thing is, don't sit on a cold floor, because you sit on a cold floor, especially if you are past 50 years old, then the cold gets into your spine. It's not good. The Buddha himself practiced anapanasati. Nowadays there are many types of meditation, and they claim those are the Buddha's methods. But actually in the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said if anybody asks what type of meditation did the Tathagata practice, the Buddha said before his enlightenment he practiced anapanasati, and even after his enlightenment he practiced anapanasati. And in the suttas, anapanasati is supposed to fulfill the 4 satipatthana, provided you practice unremitting mindfulness. Unremitting mindfulness on one object. Intense mindfulness on one object. That is the meaning of satipatthana. So nowadays, many monks they follow the Visuddhimagga. But you must remember the Visuddhimagga was written 900 years after the Buddha's passing away. It's not very accurate. So in the Visuddhimagga, it is taught that you should concentrate on one point. Usually they say the tip of the nose, tip of the nose, or your upper lip. But that is not the Buddha's instructions. The Buddha's instructions is to be mindful of your breath. And in the Sutta, Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha also said you have to be mindful of the body. So many monks interpret the body to be the breath body. this is not only the breath body, it should be the whole body. Because if you are not aware of your whole body, and you keep on watching your breath, and then when your samadhi increases, then you become unaware of the body. When I started, when I practiced anapanasati in the early years also, that's what happened. You're not aware of the body. And then I discovered in the suttas that the Buddha said, when you attain the first jhana, there are 5 jhana factors. Vitakka, vichara, piti sukha, and ekagata. Vitakka and vichara is the 2 tools you use in meditation. Vitakka means thought directed. Vichara means thought sustained. That means thought directed means you direct it on your breath. You watch your breath. Breath go in, go out, go in, go out. After a while, it is natural for the mindfulness to run away. The Buddha said our attention is always pulled by the 6 sense objects. Sights, sounds, smells, taste, touch, and thoughts. So the Buddha also said this is Mara's playground. Mara is tempting us at these 6 sense doors. So we should not pay attention to the 6 sense objects, but pay attention to the 4 objects of sati or satipatthana, which is body, feelings, mind, and dhamma. The reason is that if you put your attention on these 4 things, it gives you wisdom. But if you put your attention on the 6 sense objects, it does not give you wisdom. Mindfulness is something that we all have all the time. You're watching TV also, you're mindful, isn't it? But when you watch TV, it doesn't give you wisdom. You watch football, it doesn't give you wisdom. So we have to remember to put our attention on these 4 objects. And the breath is one that we start with. So we should contemplate the breath as it comes in through your nostril, and you follow it down to your abdomen. And you should be aware of your whole body and of the breath going from your nostril down to your abdomen and up again and out. You keep on watching like this. So, vitakka is putting your attention on your breath. After a while, if the mind runs away, you got to pull it back. That is using vitakka, mind, thought directed. Direct your thought again to your breath. And sustain it on your breath. Keep it on your breath. That is vichara. Thought sustain. So, if you have the good karma, good karma means you are a happy person. The Buddha said, the condition for your mind to calm down is you have to be a happy person, not filled with remorse. Some people have done a lot of wrong things, so they have a lot of remorse. The mind is always disturbed. So that kind of person find it very difficult to meditate. So if you have been keeping good karma, then you'll be a happy person. Then the mind settles down more easily. So if you can follow your breath all the way from the nostril down to your abdomen and out, slowly you can follow it longer and longer. So when you're able to follow it longer, the mind slowly becomes one-pointed, ekagata. It settles down on one object instead of being distracted to the 6 sense doors. So when it's able to settle on one object, at the same time, 2 other factors arise, piti and sukha. Sukha, you can say, is bliss. Bliss wells up from within you. And because of that, you are delighted at the same time. But for a newcomer, for a beginner, when you get this experience, you are so delighted that you fall off the chair. fall out of samadhi, then you regret, So you must play it cool, as the Westerners say. So just keep your attention on your breathing, and don't allow it to run away. If it runs away, you bring it back. So if you are able to sustain your attention on the breath longer and longer, your samadhi increases in strength. Your mind increases in strength. But usually, for a beginner, your mind does not have muscle, does not have the strength. So even if you attain one-pointedness of mind, it's only for a short moment. You fall out of it easily. It's just like somebody carrying weights. You're not used to carrying a heavy weight. You carry a heavy weight. You're able to push it up just for a short moment, and quickly you have to release it. So in the same way, if you attain even the first jhana, it's very easy to fall out of it. But then the Buddha said, even if you can attain the first jhana for a short time, as short as a finger snap, the Buddha said, you are talking to monks, then you are really a monk, and you eat your alms food deservingly, and you listen to the Buddha's, the teacher's instructions. So the Buddha praised the attainment of jhana even for one moment, because if you are able to attain these 5 jhana factors, even for a short while, what happens is that the 5 hindrances are suppressed to a very low degree. These 5 things, normally we say are the 5 hindrances: sensual desire, ill will or anger, sloth and torpor, making us sleepy, lazy, restlessness and worry, and then doubt. These 5 things by themselves are not the 5 hindrances. They are called the 5 hindrances when they are strong and they obsess the mind habitually. Some people habitually angry, some people habitually lustful. These 2 are very strong. These are the passions. So if you are able to attain the first jhana where these 5 factors arise, what happens is that a light wells forth from your heart, comes out from your heart. Nowadays, a lot of meditation teachers, they follow the Visuddhi Magga, they talk about the light outside. But I believe it's the light inside that matters. The light inside coming out. In the suttas, the Buddha said, when your mind becomes one-pointed, a light arises. The Buddha mentioned light arises, although he did not say from where. It's because the light arises from your heart area. In Hinduism, they believe the mind is situated in the heart. So once that happens, your mind becomes one-pointed. You will find after that, 2 of these passions noticeably decrease. One is anger. If you have a lot of anger, if you are able to attain this one-pointedness of mind, after that you find your anger reduces a lot. Not only you see that, people around you, your friends, your relatives also notice. The other one is lust. Lust is another habitual tendency of most people. We have lustful thoughts every day. But when we attain samadhi, it is reduced. It's not that you don't have, you still have, but it is reduced. It doesn't obsess your mind. So, that is actually the purpose of meditation. Because when you are able to make your mind one-pointed, you have control of your mind. Otherwise, you don't have control of our mind. Our normal mind is always going out through the six senses. And because of that, we have a very scattered mind. And because we have a very scattered mind, when you close your eyes in meditation or whenever you close your eyes, it's all dark. Yeah. But for the Arahant, when they close their eyes, it's still bright as day. Even at night or so, when they close their eyes, it's all bright. So we watch the breath from the nostril, going into the nostril, down to our abdomen, and up again. But after a while, you find it's very easy for your mind to run away. So you need some tricks to help you focus. One is to chant a word. When the breath goes in, you chant a word. When the breath goes out, you chant another word. In Thailand, they like to say Bud Do. When the breath goes in, you chant Bud. And when the breath goes out, Do. Bud Do is basically Buddha. But you can also chant Lo Han. Chinese, the Arahant is Alohan or Lohan. The breath goes in, you say Lo. When the breath goes out, you say Han. So you do this. But sometimes, after a while, the mind still runs away. So, especially when you sit for a bit longer, the breath becomes finer and finer. Yeah. When the breath becomes finer and finer, you find it harder to notice. Yeah. So what you should do is to make it noticeable by pulling your breath, using a little bit of force. Pull your breath down to your abdomen. Force it to go down to your abdomen. Let your abdomen rise up a bit and then go out again. That is when your breath becomes not noticeable. If it is still noticeable, you don't need that effort. But when it becomes not so clear, then you make the effort to force it down to your abdomen and out again. So follow the whole breath. This is the way they practice in India. In India, it's called pranayama. So Buddha can be considered to be a Hindu saint. A lot of people don't like to say Buddhism is part of Hinduism. Hinduism is not one religion. Hinduism is all the religions in the Indus Valley, Hindu Valley, all the religions. So the Buddha was one of those Indian yogis. If he did not teach, if did not set the Dharma wheel rolling, he'll just be considered as another Indian Hindu ascetic. Yeah. So in India, this pranayama is forcing the breath, using a bit of force to make the breath noticeable, to let go all the way down to your abdomen and up again. This one not only has the advantage of making the breath noticeable, it has an added advantage of making you calm down. Have you noticed a baby sleeping? When a baby is sleeping in deep sleep, the abdomen goes up and down, very relaxed, goes up and down. So when our breath goes down to the abdomen, right to the very bottom, we breathe from there, we feel relaxed, much more relaxed than normal. Normally when you're at work, you're doing this and you're doing that, hustle and bustle, you find your breathing is very shallow, down to your chest only. It's not deep down because you're not relaxed. So to help you relax, you breathe all the way down to your abdomen. So that has two advantages. One is you relax faster. Secondly, the breath becomes more noticeable. Any questions? Now, I'll continue. Why you have to notice your body? You won't know unless you study the suttas. Nowadays, there are monks who teach samatha meditation. They also talk about jhana. But the jhana states that they get is the samadhi states that they get. We don't deny it is samadhi, but it is different from the Buddha's jhana. So, in the suttas, if you investigate more, you find like in the Digha Nikaya, the Buddha said, when you attain the first jhana, you have these 5 jhana factors. And 2 of them stand out very clearly. That is piti and sukha, delight and bliss. You feel very blissful. Very, very blissful because your mind has become healthy. An unhealthy mind is a very disturbed mind. A disturbed mind is also a very unhappy mind. So, if our mind calms down and becomes one-pointedness, and this bliss arises, and this delight arises, that is a very healthy mind. A very tranquil mind, a very calm mind. So, this piti, this delight and bliss, after you attain the first jhana, to make your jhana strong, the Buddha taught that we should strengthen this piti and sukha by paying all your attention, unremitting mindfulness on your breath, and your one-pointedness will last longer and longer, and the piti and sukha will increase. Then, when it is strong enough, the Buddha said, to make it pervade your whole body. Pervade your whole body, delight and bliss, make it go to every cell in your body. So if you are not aware of your body, you are not able to do that. So you find a lot of meditation instructors, teachers who teach meditation, even when they teach samatha meditation, they never mention this. But it is mentioned by the Buddha. A lot of people think, what's the use of studying the suttas? It's only theory only. They don't realize a lot of practical instructions are in our Theravada suttas. It's different with Mahayana. I spent 9 years studying Mahayana sutras, and then I realized they are not practical. Not practical. Can't use it in everyday life. It's the same with Abhidhamma. It's not practical. It's a lot of theory. Sounds very good, but you can't use it in everyday life. The suttas, the flavor is entirely different. The flavor of the suttas is every day you can apply it. So even in meditation, the instructions are so clear by the Buddha. So the Buddha said to make the delight and bliss pervade your whole body. If you are able to do that, then your samadhi becomes strong. And you can repeat it. Most of us, because we were not clear about this from the beginning, and myself, you can get states of samadhi, but later it falls out. Hilang. And to get it back is difficult. So it's good to get the right instructions from the beginning. So that shows how clear, how obvious it is that you have to be mindful of your whole body. Even when you are concentrating on when you are observing your breath. It is not that difficult because our mind is a supercomputer. When we are watching our breath, you find at the same time you can be thinking of your family. At the same time, you can be thinking of your office, work and all that. You're still watching your breath, isn't it? Because the mind is so great. So that's why it's not all that difficult to observe your breath and at the same time observe your body. Be aware of your body, be aware of your sitting posture, be aware of the breath coming in from your nostril, going down to your abdomen and out again. Okay? In fact, this is more relaxing. If you just concentrate on one point, you concentrate too hard, you get samadhi headache, People feel a lot of pressure around this point. Why? This third eye point is a chakra point. It's a chakra point. There are several chakra points in our body. Another one you'll notice when you're meditating is at the neck. Because when you're tired, your neck will naturally go down. Your head will naturally go down. Why? Because of this chakra point, trying to save energy. It will go down. So sometimes when you're very tired and you're meditating, it's okay. Just let your head go down. Save some energy, energy saving lamp like that. Okay, any question? No sound. No sound. This sound system sometimes ada, sometimes tada.